Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Shalom Aleichem to all the guests. We have Shalom Rand in the house. Shmuel. Shmuel. Shalom Aleichem. Shmuel. I'm not supposed to say Rabbi Kramer's name, right? Where is he? Get over here. Get over here. Shalom Aleichem. Where are you from? Brooklyn? You're from Jackson. Shalom Aleichem. Man, we have a seat for you. Have a seat. You know this guy? You haven't been on his statuses. What are your status?
You have to look closely.
Yeah. All right. Rabbi Isai, Yishkoch for coming. Getting into it. Wow. Ooh, the Baal Simcha alone is here. Yoey, get over here. Yoey's a bar mitzvah today. Mamish today. Shalom Aleichem, Yoey. Come. Here, sit right next to me, Yoey. Everybody, it's a new anigin for Yoey. No. Let him start a song. That's old. You know, you both of you had it. No, you can't. You can't this time. Simin Toivo, Mazel Toivo, Simin Toivo, Mazel Toivo. You gonna sing with us? Simin Toivo, Mazel Toivo, Simin Toivo, Mazel Toivo. How many mesechtas do you do with us? Better. How many mesechtas? Reb David. How many? 10? Wow. How many? Which ones? Which mesechtas did he learn? Taanis Megillah. Really? It's 2 years. Rabbi Isayo is a big inspiration for the whole shir. For thousands of people that watch, he's here almost every single day, and he's been with us for 2 years, over 2 years. He learned over 10 mesechtas with us, including Yevamis, Subis. Yeah, Yevamis also. Mazel tov. You should be able to finish shots with us. Mazel tov, Reb David. You should be Talmid Chacham like your father. Reb David, I just realized something. Can I say this in shir about what you used to do on Zavitan? Or you don't want me to talk about it? When I moved here to Eretz Yisrael, I had a tremendous chizuk. Reb David, with his earphones, was sweeping the streets in our neighborhood. And I asked him, what's going on here? He said, I could kill 3 birds with 1 stone. I could learn Torah, I'm listening to Torah. I could clean Eretz Yisrael, and I can make a parnasa. He made extra money like that, and he had no bush, and sometimes he'd bring his kids on for, this for years. And exercise. That's what right? Remember that? Exercise. He's big into exercise. So it's unbelievable. He gave me a lot of chizuk, bemis. Like, in America, you're not going to see a guy sweep a street. I mean, I don't care how desperate you are. And he's not desperate as far as a famous doctor, whatever, but he did it. Big chizuk. Today is the 20th day of the Omer. Hayoim Esrim Yoim Shem Shnei Shavuos V'Shisha Yomim Ba'Omer or La Omer. Rabbi Isai, here's a good morning. Rabbi Isai from Brooklyn, New York. This is a tzaddik doing Chazorah Mesechtes Yevamis on the B&H bus. And the bus, you can see, Inzer Yidden, he's learning, and the guy next to him is learning. It's unbelievable. This is an email in Hebrew from Yossi Reichman. He says that he's watching the Shis in Sukkah like Yoey, and this is what his son does for fun. He reads the Yoshi art book on Nazir.
Hi, warum hast du liebst gegen Ezefe?
Weil ich will.
Warum hast du liebst Ezefe?
He's from Belgium, this guy. Okay. Yes, he loves the Sefer. This, I just grabbed the picture because this Yid said he's been learning with us for maybe 2 years. And he started kissing my hands. He said, you changed my life. I said, this guy, he looks like a Rebbe. And he's like, I changed his life. Okay, whatever. Yeah.
He changed his left.
He said he was clean shaven when he started. Very nice.
He changed his life.
I also wanted to show. I want to show the.
He changed his life. Now he knows what YouTube is.
Well, YouTube, all of. I also want to show the different diversity that we have in the shir. Because I received a few emails, and last year I received a few hate mails. So I just want to address this for a second, not to go into it. But here's Chassidus Yid, and here's an email from Tani Palak, who also came to the Borough Park Siyum, who lost his 2-year-old son this year. Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach. If only you asked the crowd in Borough Park how many of you were saying Hallel on Wednesday, you could have seen all the real Achdus. So I want to address this just for a second. Part of MDY is that we accept all Yidden of all groups and all types. I personally, I'm Litvish. I go with the Hashkafa of the Chazon Ish, the Briskirov, Rebbe Yashiv, Chaim Kanievsky, the Stipler. And they paskin not to say Hallel. I respect you, that you say Hallel. I respect the Rabbanim that you go with. I hope that you respect my Rabbanim. People had tainas on me and complain, how dare you? How dare you? I have this Hashkafa, you have that Hashkafa. And with that, I'm finished. The daf yesterday was so perfect because it started with the SCP, Simchas Chalver program, just finished last Zman. Hilchas Nida, and I passed, but one topic I had a problem with was the sugya of Veses Kavua. So starting the daf, there was amazing Chazara. The Kitzer, he's with the SCP, like Jonathan does SCP. A few people are doing the Smicha program, doing this Zman Hilchas Suda, starting to Zidayim, going to this Srach Tuma, and he says that the chart you showed at the end of the daf with the image of the bagel and chum was mamish what we went over last night. So thank you and Yosh for the amazing charts, images, and explanations. Hope your jaw is back to normal after having to fake smile for 500 pics. So I did stand in line for I don't know how long, over an hour and a half or so, just taking more pictures. And when I read this, I was like, no. By my chasana, my jaw really hurt. Over there, I was faking. Over here, I was be'emes b'simcha. Each guy was b'simcha. No fake smiles. What? Standing next to your parents like this for half an hour? It's fake. Separate question for you to answer whenever you have a chance. Okay, different thing. Yom Ha'atzmaut Sameach, Tani Palak. Yaakov Lak. I left his email in Bedafka because I think that Jake at bikebladeball.com is what he wants people to know him for. You mentioned the passing of Dr. David Block a few days ago. I'm doing Shabbos now, and on Daf Hey of Shabbos, you read his email about how you changed his life. This is how long ago? 3 years ago. I'm saying these emails, you get to know people from the shir. That's why I read them. Here's another raya, how he finished brachas on the line. Imagine the schus you have, the schus to have a short life. You provide a means to them to learn Torah. What could be greater than that? Be well, Yaakov. Hi, Reveli. I want to send you a picture of my husband. We're on our way to Blackpool on Chalamoyed. My husband pulls out his tablet and put his headphone on, and the whole train trip he did the daf. The entire train, he's doing the daf. Because of you, he does the daf every day, and I know how much it's important for him, and he loves it so much. So I know how hard it is. Things. Mrs. Gutman, Shimon Gutman's wife, Manchester. And Rabbi side today is Yossi Klein's birthday. The Olam should wish him happy birthday. What? Oh, and your son, which one? I don't see him. Come up here. Huh? Yisrael David. You too? We're only celebrating Yossi Klein's. Finished. Special, listen, special for you. What? How long were you born? So was Yisrael David. You don't get a better name than that. He didn't even know his Yom Ha'atzmaut. He called him Yisrael David. Ruach HaKodesh. Oh, I'm 48. Wow. Happy birthday. And I want to mention something. I remembered to say this. I want to tell the Olam, and I'm saying this for Chizuk. I fell off the bandwagon of Shnai Mikra V'Echad Targum when I was in America during Pesach. And you know what? I'm going to get back on. I missed 2 parashas. I know. It's terrible. But it used to be that that's it. I'll wait for Bereshis. Now we're going to start again. I did it early, and then my chavrusa yelled at me, you're not supposed to do it early, and this, and then by the time I listened to him, and then I forgot it, and Kitzer, I think I'm just missing the Targum part. The Shnai Mikra, I didn't do the Targum. Okay. The Koil is sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. Oh, by the way, we have Yossi Saunders in the house. Shalom Aleichem, Reb Yossi. How you doing? Saunders. All the way from Manchester. He does his, what is it called, the name of your publication over there? Jewish Weekly, 11,000 copies a week. Koil, sponsored by Anonymous from Lakewood. The Masechta is sponsored by myself. Lishmas Menachem Toporovich. Menachem Mendelov, Shal Ben Yibal Chaim Yishua Doiv. Lishmas Chai Bas Yosef, the sponsor of the month. Lishmas Chai Bas Yosef. Second sponsor, the entire MDY family. Lishmas Avram Menashe Ben. Is it Moshe Aaron or Aaron Moshe? I think it's Aaron Moshe. We got to change it. Maybe we have to do a whole other month for him. Lishmas, we're saying the wrong person. Avram Menashe Ben Aaron Moshe. Lishmas Zechariah Ben Moshe. And finally, the fourth sponsor of the month, Rav Shleimo for Rav Elio Ben Zissel Devoira. Parnas Hayoim, David Steinhardt. In honor of Yoi's bar mitzvah today, Mazel Tov. Yoi happens to be our son. Both of our sons are in Yoi's class. Me and Avi Kamiansky, and they're best friends, all three of them. Lizchus, Refuas Ze'ev Ben Sheva Rivka. The surgery should be successful and a quick recovery. Amen. And the R, the sponsor for complete refuah for Chaim Tzvi Ben Leah. My boys, there we go. What's going on here? It's early. Should we stop for a second?
Okay, we got half a dozen yesterday.
Yeah, okay. We're holding in the middle of the Mishnah, Boy Bayoim, Dorash Rebbe Akiva. You guys have it? It's like, I don't know, 18 lines from the bottom, just guessing. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 19 lines by me, 19, 20 lines from the bottom. Boy Bayoim, Dorash Rebbe Akiva. So as we said yesterday, him I could do. To other guests you have to do. Shalom is a big human being. That we're all, it's after Pesach. So yesterday we discussed this famous Gemara, the famous day that Rav Elazar ben Azariah, he became Nasi, and they decided a lot of halachas, and this whole mission is halachas that they decided Boy Bayoim. In fact, I forgot to mention yesterday, Mesechtes Edius was written on that day. Boy Bayoim Darash Rebbe Akiva. Oz Yosher Moshe v'nei Yisrael Sashira Azois Lashem Bayoim Rulei Moir. I'll say this even though I'm throwing myself for the second time on the bus in one cheer. A Pesukei de Zimra, I'm not very good at it because I do Zoom and I come in late. But even though the halacha it says what you're supposed to say if you skip, Baruch Shamar, Ashrei, Yishtabach, and you're supposed to say a few halalukas. When I learned New Pshad in Oz Yosher, because I used to read it my whole life until I was 40 years old, B'mayim Adirim. In the great waters. And then I saw Rashi says, B'mayim, stop. Adirim is referring to the Mitzrim. That's one pshat. I realized I have to be a little bit better at it, and I learned better pshat in the Yosher, so now I make it part of my Pesukei de Zimra, regardless of when I come to Shul, as long as I don't miss Shmoneh Esrei because of it. So, in Oz Yosher, which we say every day, it says, Oz Yosher Moshe v'nei Yisrael Sashir Azois Lashem Vayoimru. That's all it should say. Vayoimru. Oshir Lashem ki goyga. What's Lamar? And Rashi says all over the Torah it says Lamar. In Chayder we used to say Azoy Tzizugin. Lamar. You had it also? Yeah. Taich. So you have no idea what I'm talking about. These guys, huh? You know. It doesn't bother the Gemara anywhere where it says Lamar. Because the Akash Baruch was telling Moshe Rabbeinu, Lamar, I give you the permission to repeat what I'm saying. It's not a secret to you. You can say this over to Klal Yisrael. But over here it doesn't apply. Over here it's a shira between Moshe Rabbeinu and Klal Yisrael to the Rebbeinu Shalom. It's not Rebbeinu Shalom talking. So why does the word Lamar appear here when it was enough to say Vayoimru? And they said this song, Lamar, Azoy Tzizagin doesn't work over here. Why does it say it? There's a lot of you are going to say, oh, people in this room. Oh, it says Hallel, you see. Okay. There's no Hallel on Yom HaZikaron. Fine. That's why I stop at Dafka. It's today's Daf. It's wherever we start, that's where Klal Yisrael is doing it. Okay, fine. Hallel. Now, how do you say Hallel? You'll be surprised to know that we don't really say it the right way, the proper way. We say it like Ashkenazim, like Sfardim. I want to show you how it's done, and they have that's how most people hold, that these individuals called Teimanim, they have the best tradition. They haven't broken tradition for thousands of years. And I want to show you a video. I found one, there's a few of them online, of how they actually go about Hallel. And this is what the Mishnah is talking about. So I'll explain it because it might be hard for some people to understand. The first pasuk that he's saying of this perek, he says, and everybody repeats. And then he says a couple words, and they say Hallelujah. He says another couple words, Hallelujah. And this goes on and on for like 10 minutes. They don't say Hallel. They just say Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Unbelievable. Check this out. You're not going to believe it. Got it? That's how they do it, like the Gemara. Back, forth, up, down. None of this left, right. Okay, anyway. It's a very long video. I don't want to show you all of it. We could sit here forever. I just found it interesting. That's how we're going to probably be saying Hallel in the future. Get used to it. They say Hallelujah like Ashkenazim, like Litvak say Hallelujah. A lot of we have a very similar, the way Litvaks say it is very similar to how Teimanim say it. I don't know if there's going to be one nusach in the future. I don't know. But they, l'chayra, have the best Havara. And he also said, Ligmar is Hallel, to finish, because it was Sukkos. So he said Ligmar is Hallel, not Likra is Hallel, like we say. Okay. Huh? All Sfardim say that. Thank you. So, what the Mishnah is saying is that Moshe Rabbeinu said a few words, and Klal Yisrael just said, I don't know what they said, Hallelujah, or they said whatever they said. But he said, they said. He said, they said. L'kach ne'emar le'mar. So they repeated like Moshe Rabbeinu said it. Reb Nechemia omer, ki koyin es shma, Reb Nechemia agrees that we learn the word lamar to teach us something, but not like you, Rebbe Akiva, that it's every 2 words they repeat, but rather he said the entire Az Yashir, and Klal Yisrael said the entire Az Yashir, like we say Kriya Shema. Another halacha. Baybayam Darash Rabbi Yeshua ben Hurganus, that day, the Rebbe Elazar ben Azariah became the Nasi, stands up Rabbi Yeshua and says, Le'ovad Iyoiv es HaKadosh Baruch Hu elo me'ahava. You could worship HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ahava or me'yira. Out of fear, to get an oynesh, or out of hava, out of love. You could give your father a cup of tea because you love him, or you're scared he's going to give you a frask and panim. He served HaKadosh Baruch Hu me'ahava. Shenemar hey nikteleni lo yayachel. Even if he kills me, I yearn for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Says the Gemara, V'adayin adavar shakol. Well, it's not so pasha that that's the pshat in the pasuk. Why? Lo yani mitzapeh, or ye'eni mitzapeh. So, check this out. Oops. Because I touched it, my thing. Hey, nikteleni. So, you have to understand, the pasuk actually says the red word. Hey, nikteleni loy ayachel. I'm not going to yearn for HaKadosh Baruch Hu. But we read it, it's a ksiv, loy. It's a kri, we read it with a vav. Not that it sounds different, but we understand it to mean loy HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not loy mit the aleph. Okay? Because the Torah, if you look in the side, it'll say with the aleph. It's interesting because yesterday in the Koil, I asked people, not everybody knew the Pshat and the Gemara like that. They just thought, hey, Rashi says you could switch a vav with the aleph sometimes. What? Because that's how we read it. But yours is with the vav. Look in the Torah, it says with the aleph. This I didn't change. This I took off Bar Ilan, and it said it exactly like this. Loi, but the nekudos are with the vav, the way we read it, and the other one is just to tell you it's not in red in Bar Ilan. I made it red, but the red is to show you that's how it says it. That's how it's written. In the Aseret Hadibros in Yisroi, it says v'chalam roim esakoylois v'salapidim. So the Imri Emes says, why do I say roim esakoylois? Because it says in the Aseret Hadibros loy tignov. So people will say, it means go steal from your friend. You should steal from him. So you know what? Akash Baruch Hu said it, but you were able to see how it's written, so you don't make any mistakes. He made charts, exactly. Vadaina dov shakol, so it could go both ways. It could be loy with the aleph, loy with the vav, loy ani mitzapo, yeni mitzapo, loy. I don't care about a Akash Baruch Hu. Loy mar, another pasuk. Ad egva loy osir tu masim imeni. Until the day I die, I'm not going to leave my wholeness for myself. He did it out of love. He wasn't scared. He was the most Yisurim, right? The biggest Baal Yisurim. I wish you had Chias HaMeisim, you'd be here to hear your Talmidim darshan better than you did. He used to say that Eov was only fearful of Hashem. It says that he feared HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I wish you were here to see this beautiful drasha that he did in Me'ahava. So we learned in the Mishnah, all the way in the beginning of the Mishnah, oops. You ready? Here, look at this chart. Just like she explodes, so too he explodes. Now, who's the he? It says in the Mishnah, so, before I forget, in the Hava Shalom and also the Sar Shalom from Bell says, same idea, that it's a little bit of Chassidish thing, but we have some Chassidim in the room, so I'll say it for them, that just like the waters check the bad guy, so if you drink, actually I'm saying it for Shalom Rand, because I saw a status yesterday, I thought it was Givaldic. They're about to get on the plane in Kirstir, and it's only Jews, and a guy pulls out a bottle of Bromfen. L'chaim, everybody in line is getting L'chaim, yeah? Everybody shared the same cup, hepatitis B, the ganze Sache. Okay, why? What's the pshat? Why are you making L'chaims? You know pshat? Huh?
Because when you have a yeshiva coming, you just make a L'chaim.
But why? So I'm explaining you pshat here. So they say that just like when the woman drinks, it has a bad effect on the noyef. So if you drink and you say l'chaim and you have in mind to be mizaka somebody else, mida taiva meruba. If you could do bad through drinking, this woman could drink and that guy explodes. So this man could drink and that guy will explode in kedusha. The other pshat is the reason why we say l'chaim doesn't really work with Bromfen so much is because Adam Arishon was chayta with wine. That was his chet. And he caused death to the world through drinking wine. So we drink wine and we say l'chaim. This is the Tikkun Zohar, it says. Okay, I don't know how it works exactly with it's Chamar Medina, the wine of the what? Okay, it's Tikkun Zohar. Anyway, says in the Mishnah, Oisai. Now who's this Oisai? Laman, Ilem, Labal. If you're going to tell me that Oisai is referring to the husband, the wife drinks and her own husband dies also. Baal Mayovid, what did he do wrong? Why should he explode? Holding on top of Dav Chof Ches Koyach. The E is by what? Chof Ches Omen Aleph. This Be'ov in Bat Kilo Mayo. Sorry, what? It's new Sfarim now. I'm messing everybody up. I made everybody bring. Sorry, we're going to try to catch up today. This Be'ov in Bat Kilo Mayo. His Be'ov in Bididei Mi Bat Kilo Mayo Lidah. So what says Rashi? We're talking about a guy who's bad. That he was over in the halacha. The halacha is that once his wife is a saita, he can't be with her. He was over on that. So if she drinks the water, he'll explode because of that aveira. A guy in Brooklyn, he said over, Rabbi Indik, his name was, thought it was a cute little mice. He said over when I was there in Brooklyn, he said that the Tzelem Rebbe had a camp, and one of the boys damaged a lot of things. He turned on the faucet on purpose or something. He caused a lot of damage in the camp. So he calls all the boys. Who did it? Nobody admitted. He says, listen, he was wearing his tefillin. He says, you see this cup? This Maim Amurim. I'm going to, in a half hour, all of you are going to stand there. I'm giving each one of you to drink. After a half an hour, you're going to see the one that drank it and poured all the water. His body's going to start shaking. And what happens afterwards, I'm not going to tell you. And the kid came forward. He admitted. Ki izbei avoy b'didei mi batkel imaya l'didah.
Lies.
I was just so big to say it, but look, you gotta laugh. Who cares if 3 guys went off the derech? They gotta laugh. No. That's how they do chinuch. They didn't have the tools in those days. In our days, we have tools. If he actually sinned and he went against what he was supposed to, he was with his wife after she became a soita, nothing will work. The waters don't work. And he has to be clean. I believe we're going to learn a little later. There's a shita that holds that Imamish has to be clean. He has to be a pure guy. The water is not hocus pocus. It'll work for a husband that doesn't have Averis. But if he sinned even with somebody else or whatever, then it doesn't work, because if he's a bad guy, she's not good. It's not going to work. Ve'elo. So what is pshat? Like Yoshi did. Labayel. It means that if she sinned with a noyef, the noyef explodes. And that's what the Gemara is going to stay with, but we just want to reach there. How do we get to this conclusion? Listen to the Kektani Seifa. Kishem shasur lebal, kachasur lebayel. So let me just show you real quickly. Here's the Mishnah, right? If you're too lazy and you don't have the other Gemara, here it is. Kishem shamayim boit kinoisah, kachamayim boit kinoisah. So it says oisah and oisah in red. The next halacha is Kishem shasur lebal, kachasur lebayel. Look, in green we call this noyev guy a bayel. So why in the red do we call him an oisai? We should call him a bayel. If his name is bayel, so let's call him bayel. Let's be consistent throughout the whole Mishnah. Says the Gemara, the obvious answer, no. We're really talking about a noyev. And why do we change the lashon and call him an oisai instead of a bayel guy? It has to match the red. Red and red goes together. Green and green goes together. Everything matches up perfectly now. Bayal and Oisai are the same individual. Just to match her, Oisa, so we put Oisai. And to match the husband on the bottom in the green, so we made him a Bayal. Baal and Bayal, Oisai and Oisa. Fine. Reish I did ton Oisa, Taninam Oisai, say that I did ton Baal, ton Bayal. There's a fascinating Mishnah L'Melech over here who says that just like the water is boidek, the guy, the noyef, we learned, right? Chalil Chazara. There's something called the Gilgal Shvuah. So the husband, as she's drinking the water, he could throw in a couple more lines. He says, and also you weren't with Ruvain and Shimon and Levi and Yehuda and all those people I accused you 6 years ago. And she says, Amen. Says the Mishnah Melech, when she drinks the wine, all of a sudden, pop, pop, pop. People start popping all over the world. Because he said he was Megalgal Shvuah, so 6 people now die across the world. It's a nice chiddush. Of course, only if they're guilty. Yeah. We're talking about the guilty. If they're not guilty, then Taval and Bracha. They get a bracha. Maybe. The Chosh B'Ksher. Shenemar ubo ubo. How do you know that the noyef gets punished? Because it says uvo uvo. The Mishnah says twice uvo. Iboilu. Bo bo kamar. Uvo uvo kamar. Here's the shard. Fine. There's 2 psukim over here. Very, very simple. Either it's uvo ubo, it's a double red. It's 2 different psukim. It says the word uvo. Or it's the top pasuk above the line. Only one pasuk. We're going with one word, uvo, but we're using the vav of ubo. Bo means the water came. Uvo, and they came. The vav is an extra word, it's and. So we have basically two words, and it came. So how are we learning that the noyef also blows up? Toshma, kishem shasur lebal, kachasur leboil. Shenemar nitma v'nitma. So it says, nitma v'nitma, twice the word nitma. V'adayin tibai. So in other words, we're not doing the vav, right? Let me just make sure that I'm reading it correctly. Yeah, sorry. No. Over here we are learning the vav. Yeah, like yesterday as Ms. Balbal. Nitma v'nitma ka'amar. Sorry, where are we? Let's start again. So over here you see the Mishnah is learning the vav. So if the Mishnah is learning the vav of v'nitma, so we're also learning the vav of ubo. Nitma ka'amar or nitma v'nitma? I still don't know. Is the Mishnah trying to learn a double word that says nitma twice in the parasha, or we're learning the vav? Which one is it? You bring me a raya from the same exact kind of idea. We don't know. Uvo, is it two bows, or we're learning the vav? So you bring me a raya from the same type of word, v'nitma. So, but it says nitma twice in the parasha. So maybe we're learning from the double word nitma? Tashma, this is a simple answer. Why? Because in the Mishnah it says machlokes. Rebbe argues on this. And he says, I learned it from a different way. Rebbe is the one that learns from the double word. So it can't be that Rebbe Kiva learns from the double. What's that machlokes? So obviously Rebbe Kiva is learning from the vav. So Rebbe Kiva is learning from the vav. So when it comes to a vav, Rebbe Kiva learns from the vav. And when it comes to a vav, Rebbe does not learn from the vav. Rebbe doesn't learn vavs. So if Rebbe and Rebbe Kiva have a machlokes in our Mishnah alone, one is learning from the double word nitma, one is learning from the vav nitma. So one learns from the double word of bo, and one learns from the vav of bo. Therefore, says the Gemara, we have 6 psukim. Here they are, Rabbi said, don't worry about it, very simple stuff. 6 psukim. This pasuk chav beis, pasuk chav dal, pasuk chav zayin. It says it on top. Green, blue, red. It says the same word 3 times. Ubo, bo, bo. And if you add the 3 vavs, so you have 6. So the first pasuk is going to teach us that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is mitzaveh the waters to work. He's changing teva, nature. He says this water should go into a person and kill him. That's savah. Uba uba. The second one is that you should know that that's how it works. And asiyah is that's how it happens. So let's see. So in each one, the tzavah, you have to say that HaKadosh Baruch Hu said that the water should work and it should work against the husband. Chad. What? Yeah, sorry. Against the boil, you're right. Chad la'asiyodida, v'chad la'asiyodidei. We're going to see a little bit more about that. Chad li'idiyodida, v'chad li'idiyodidei. So, here. So we're going to see this in the Gemara, but I'll just show you over here. It says in the pasuk that the way the Kohen curses her, he says, "V'amar Kohen li'isha yitin Hashem ha'isach," and he says, "B'seis Hashem es yireichech." Yireichech is a thigh, and that comes first in the pasuk. 1, noifeles, yireichech, your thigh will fall. V'esbitnech tzava, and your stomach will expand and explode. How does it really happen? The opposite. It goes from the way the water goes in. So the water goes in. The stomach, the curse goes, we learned in the Gemara, is the way the Aveira happened. It starts from the Yorech and then goes to the Beten. But the way the water works, it goes from, you drink it and it comes down and hits the stomach first. Stomach explodes first. I want her to know that that's how it's going to happen. Why do I need her to know that? Because a very, very interesting Gemara coming up. Rebbe doesn't darshan all the vavs. So now he's left with 3. But if Rebbe doesn't learn the vav at all, so how does he learn that the man, the noyef, explodes? Nafkilim in the Tanya because he learned Latzbeis Beten Velampil Yorech. So there's two psukim here. One says a Lashon Akeva that her stomach, bitna Yerecha, her stomach will explode. And then there's a par of a pasuk. Yerech, a thigh, a beten. It could be hers or his. It doesn't say what it is. So bitnai, so we learn from it, the par of a pasuk comes to teach us his stomach, v'yerecha shel boil. The naif gets punished. Atoimer bitnai v'yerecha shel boil. Oyei noyel bitnai v'yerecha shel nevelas. Maybe it's going back to her. Shuoimer b'tzavsa bitnav enough v'yerecha because we have another pasuk. We already have a Lashon Akeva that's talking that tells us what it's going to happen. It's like extra Lashonis over here. Givaldik for Lafiyomi. Fly through it. Now what? There's one pasuk that says the woman because bitna, and the second pasuk says beten is the noyef. Vedach. But Rebbe Akiva, he already has 6 limudim. He doesn't need more. So what is he doing with this pasuk? The Maidala Kayan. The beten bereisha v'hadi yarech. He has to let her know. He notifies her. Hey, Rebbetzin, you're a chayta, and if you actually sin, the water's going to go in. Don't think that your thigh is going to explode first, like it says in the pasuk, like the kohen tells you. I'm telling you, I'm going to say it this way. It's going to happen in reverse. First, your stomach is going to explode, then your thigh is going to fall to the floor. Why? One of the most incredible Gemaras. This Rishanta, she was Mizana. She comes all the way to the Beis Hamikdash, matriach everybody, races Hashem's name, thinks it's not going to work, and she explodes in front of everybody and dies. But this Shaita is going to say, didn't work, because it was supposed to work from the thigh first and then the stomach. But I exploded from my stomach first and the thigh second. Didn't work. What is going on here? And we have it a few times in Shas. One I'm reminded of is kachatzois. Kachatzois. You have Magas B'chayres and everybody's dying like flies, exactly like Moshe Rabbeinu said. No, but it was 12:01, not 12. So people shouldn't say it's 12. There was a mistake here. What do you mean a mistake? 100,000 people just died. Only the firstborns. Excuse me, and nobody else. Mistake. Then I thought about it, Bemis. Thought about it. A little connected to today, not that much. But it seems like, I'll ask the one question. I always thought that if I had a dream, I said, okay, go to the Beis HaKvaros, your grandfather you're gonna see him crawl out of his grave and say Shalom Aleichem to you, learn with you Chavrus for half an hour. I go to Beis HaKvaros, I wait there, he comes out. I see the digging, he comes out, I'm shocked. Shalom Aleichem, Zayda, hug, kiss, we learn. How would that affect my emunah and bitachon for the rest of my life? I was sure, see a moifus, a guy goes like this, say table, go to the ceiling, he goes, you would become a different person. And the answer is doesn't change anything. Why? Klal Yisrael saw Kriyas Yamsuf, they saw the biggest nisim in the world. 5 minutes later, they do the Egel. Mechelmet Sheshet HaYamim. I don't think there's a single Jew that went through the war that didn't say there's a Boyer Olam. How is it shy of such a nace? Millions of Arabs and this and that, and I'm a Maimin. Goes 3 months by, Shalom Yisrael, out the window. What's pshat? All you need is a split second. You get that chizuk, and if you don't hold on to it, you don't this. That's Teva Adam. Here, you see Mamsha Neis Nigla. If you saw the Soita, you'd be the biggest Maimin in the world. Nah, you wouldn't. Because you'd say, you know what? And that's the Koyach of Litzonis Betzim. Make chayzik of everything. It's not Mamsh what the Torah said. But have you ever seen a woman explode? Yeah, there's such a thing called natural combustion and this. What is it called? Spontaneous combustion. It's shaykh that she punked, had a lot of children. Yeah. Anyway, just a thought. Vidach. So what's the bottom line? Tachlis. Because we all have nisim and aflois in our life, right? How do you meet your wife and how this kid was supposed to that and this and that and all these, look at this gadol that you have as a child and all the thing, your parnasa, all the nisim. You have a chizik for literally 1.5 days and then it flies out the window. So we have to chap onto those nisim. Remember the nisim. So the Gemara. Vidoch, ahu the moidel koyin the bed in bereisha v'hadi yarech. So we said this. Vidoch imkein lichtov kra bitna v'yarecha. Just like the first pasuk. Why are you changing the lashon? My betin v'yarech shma min olabayel. From the change of the wording, I learned that it goes to the noy. Maybe the pasuk is coming to say what we just said, that it comes to include the noy if he also explodes. But how do we know that the stomach comes before the thigh? It should have said Lashon Zachar. If you're talking about a boil, if you're talking about the Noyef, so just like you said bitna, you're talking about the Noyefes, so say bitnai. It just makes sense. Use a Zachar for him. The reason why you use a Lashon Parav, and it's Nishnahi Nishtaher, it could go both ways, is because it's teaching us two limudim here. Oh, Rabbi Shua, Kacha Yedarish Zachariah. Tanarabanan, Shalish Pam Amurim Beparisha, Im Nitma, Nitma, Benitma Lama. So we have another chart. It says in 3 psukim, Yudalid, Chav Zayin, Chav Tes, Nitma, Nitma, Vinitma. We're not talking about the Vav now. We're just talking about the actual word Nitma. It comes to teach us 3 chidushim. Baal, Boil, Truma. That this woman is always usher to her husband. She's usher to the Noyev, and she's usher to eat Truma if she's a Kohenes. She gets divorced from this guy because she can't be with her husband. She goes back to her father's house. She can't eat Truma anymore. Nitma, Nitma, v'nitma lama. Echad labal, v'echad labayel, v'echad latruma. Divrei Rebbe Kiva. Omer Bishmael, Kavachoymer, comes to Bishmael and says, listen, there's a 4th thing. It's called Kayin. How do I know that this woman is also the Kayin? Kavachoymer. A divorcee who can't eat truma, she's always also to kayin. Zusha sur betruma. Look, it says v'nitma also to truma. She can't eat truma. We're a divorcee, right? A woman who gets divorced goes back to her husband. A regular divorcee, not a saita. Right? Somebody divorced her. She goes back to her father's house. If she doesn't have children, she goes back to her father's house, eats truma. She becomes like a regular kayanis again. Exactly. That's the Gemara's kash in a second. Right, so we have to address that. What's Rabbi Shmuel all of a sudden bringing up a kayin over here? Who mentioned kayin? Rebbe Kiva says Baal Boil Truma. Never mentioned the word kayin. Says Rabbi Shmuel, oh, I know a kayin from a Kavachaymer. And how does Rebbe Kiva know kayin? And Rebbe Kiva didn't even mention kayin. So what are you talking about? That's Gemara's question. Oh, so stop. And that's the end of the sugya. New sugya. If we go, and we're going to see this in a second. Why is this here? I don't know. Oh, hold on. I thought I had this pasuk. Let me just see. Pasuk disappeared somewhere. Not good. Okay. Beseder. That's funny. I could have. I saw it in there. Okay. The bottom line is we could do about Peh. If you look at the beginning of the parasha of Saita, you know what? I can read it over here, maybe, if I'm lucky. Oh. It's it's Bamidbar Hey Pasuk Yudalid. It's probably in there and I just don't see it. Vavar olav ruch kina. Person has this feeling of jealousy. V'kinas ishtay, and he warns his wife not to be mistater with Pliny. V'hi nitma. What does that mean? And she was over the Aveira. Oi, a new story. Or, no. He was jealous. V'kinas ishtay, and he warned his wife not to be mistater with Pliny. V'hi loy nitma. And she did not become tummy. So what happened exactly? She became tummy, didn't become tummy. As the Gemara... If we know for a fact that she was over the Aveira, either if there's Eidim, she's Chayiv Misav, not Eidim, there's Eidechad, she's also to the husband forever. Why does she have to drink water? And if there's no Tuma, why is she drinking water? If we know she's tahar, why does she have to drink? We see from here that we don't know. We don't know. The husband thinks he's not sure. On the suffix, she becomes asur. Rabbi said one of the most fascinating taisus ever. Serious. Look at this taisus. We're late, but it doesn't matter because we have to see this taisus. Beautiful taisus. You see? You don't know what the halach is. You have here a woman who's maybe mizana, not mizana. So, misafik, stay away from her. Safik is asur. Listen to this taisus. When the husband suspects her of a safek, she becomes a vadai lahalacha. To the point that when she drinks the water and she's 100% zakah and she's going to get pregnant with it, even though she's akara and she gets all the brachas of the world, the husband was over a isser of being mizana with a saita. You hear this chiddush? It turns out she's not a saita. What if a person thinks there's a piece of treif chazer and he eats it and he finds out it's not chazer? Does he get an aveira? Does he get malchus? Does he get no? It's not a nice thing and there's problems with it. It's problematic. But he wasn't over any doiraisis. Says Taisus, in this case is different. If he thinks that his wife is a saita and we find that she's 100% not a saita, the water proves she's not a saita. He was over an aveira for being with a saita. You see this? You have to see it inside. Crazy Taisus. Crazy good. She's 100% asur. She's not going to get malchus. It's a lava ba mechlal asay. Afilu im hi tahira nenash bebezin. Afilu im hi tahira. You should remember. Underline this Taisus. I see Leiby's underlining. Afilu im hi tahira nenash bebezin shel malo im baalel. He's going to get the einish. Kimoy al chavi asay. V'like yishar svekes says Taisus. Kimoy sagat v'chelev shuman. It's different. It's worse than a regular something they have. Okay, next. Now, from this Gemara, we learn for the rest of the Shas an unbelievable halacha for Tumah. From Saita, right? We mentioned a number of times in Shas that Tumah you learn from Saita. It's right here in this sugya. Mekanat adon l'sheretz. Taish Shan says that this is halacha l'Moshe Messina. You can see it over here. Taish Shan's like 20 lines from the bottom of Amud Aleph. We're learning a kavachaymer / it's halacha l'Moshe Messina. Sheretz. You touch any Tumah in the world, doesn't matter what. A saita who is forced by a person. She didn't do it willingly. She didn't know about it. Says Rashi, for instance, she was in a room and she thought it's her husband. He thought it's the wife. She's not over, the waters don't work, she didn't do anything wrong, but yet, if the husband is not sure, she becomes 100% asur. Sheretz. Right? If you touch a sheretz by mistake, does it matter why you touched it? You touched a dead person. Somebody took your hand and forced you to touch a dead person. You're tamei or not tamei? Of course you're tamei. What difference does it make how you touched it? It's a physical thing. So if shaygig is like mezid, so certainly the suffix should be like a vadai. And then she has a suffix kevadai. Sponsored by Greg Haber for Brocha Tzlach Barnasa Brios for our entire family and for Eli and for everyone learning the daf. And the Gemara says unbelievable. And therefore we learn from Saita to the rest of Shas to the rest of Torah for Tumah. 3 simple halachas that we know very well. Ma Saita Rishus Hayachid Avsheretz Rishus Hayachid. We learned Masechta Shabbos. What's Rishus Hayachid? What's Rishus Harabim? Rishus Harabim, 600,000 people, 32 Amos, the whole thing. Not over here by Tumah. Remember, we just had it. What's the halacha by Tumah? What's Rishus Harabim? 3 people. If there's 3 people, it's Rishus Harabim. No 600,000. 3 people. How do I know? From Saita. Because Saita is 2 people. The Noyef, Noyefes. That's it. Once you have 3, it becomes a Rishus Harabim. A Saita is where in Rishus Hayachid. It's always done privately. So Ma Saita Rishus Hayachid, Avsher Rishus Hayachid. Ma Saita Dav Shesh Beidas Lishoel, Avsheretz Dav Shesh Beidas Lishoel. You could ask this woman, were you mizan or not? She could say, I don't know. She could say, I don't care. She could say whatever she wants to say. She could say yes and she could say no. But you could ask her the question, and she'll understand the question. You know who you can't ask? You can't ask a sheret. You can't ask a katan, a 2-year-old. So these halachas don't apply to a 2-year-old. They have different halachas when it comes to tumah. If a 2-year-old touches tumah and he doesn't know how to, he can't understand, only that's the shul. Rebasha Schwartz, the Bamachaber of Medana Osher, he has a lot of daughters, and he asked the Kasha, how come there's no 4 daughters in the Agada? He says, because he has so many daughters, he can answer the answer. He says, his daughters don't stop asking questions. So Mela, they always ask for the credit card, they ask for the this, they want more clothing, so Mela, they're not neged. It's not, you can't say Sheni Del Shul. Fine. So we have 3 halachas here. First of all, you have to have das to ask the question. Second of all, in Shus HaYochid is Tomei when you have a suffix, but when you have a suffix Tumah, you don't know if you touched it or didn't touch it. And you're in Shus HaRabim. In other words, there's more than 3 people. Remember, we had the Moshe Sternbach. If you're a kohen and you're driving down the street and you think there might be a caver underneath you, throw another person in the car, you have 3 people, and suffix Tumah, Shus HaRabim, tar. Kan Omer Dov Sheish B'das Shol B'Shus HaYochid Tzvegitar B'Shus HaRabim Tzvegitar Shem B'das Shol B'M Shus HaYochid B'M Shus HaRabim Sveikoi Tar Rabboisai. Have a wonderful day. Thank you very much for coming.